Hi again. Um, Today I'm going to talk about my visit with my cardiovascular specialist. It's the first time I'm being checked since 2023 because I just stopped going. I was focused on my husband and my guys, and I had a bad experience with my last procedure that I had. It was the only procedure. It was a heart cath, and they didn't have to put a stent, but they did have to put in a filter. The doctor, and I don't know if it was resting on a nerve or what, but the pain afterwards was excruciating for more than a month solidly. It was a pain I could never describe. And while the pain eventually lessened over a period of months, and then it would just be every now and then, uh, it would that area would just bite me. I don't know how else to explain it. It felt like I was being bitten by a vicious animal in my thigh. Um, it lasted. The pain continued for about 2 years straight, and the doctor checked it repeatedly. Um, just one of those things, and now I have no problems with it. I haven't had any, knock on wood, the last well over a year now, but it kind of made me not want to go back because I don't want any more of those procedures. Um, in any case, I went because the last couple of months, probably, I think it started early in December. I started having chest pains again. I started getting angina attacks. And I didn't know if it was, I was trying to realize, well, was it a week where I went off the rails a bit, with my eating? Did that cause it? Did I lose a lot of weight? Did I gain any weight? Like what was happening? What was the antecedent to cause this, to cause these chest pains again? Was it a stressful situation that I was in? Well, duh, I'm stressed out every single day of my life because I'm worried about my husband because he's not doing well. And I'm carrying the guilt of me getting better while I'm watching him decline. And that doesn't feel good. I don't know how many people have ever had to deal with that where one spouse is getting better while watching your other spouse, while watching the other spouse who you love with every fat cell in your body. Um, and he's declining, and I'm watching him get worse as I'm getting better. So I'm under stress all the time. But that's the thing, I'm under stress all the time. So why all of a sudden am I having these angina attacks? And more importantly, if my health is getting better, the lab work shows everything's improving exponentially. Triglycerides, cholesterol, blood pressure, you name it. All the markers for, women to have a heart attack or a massive stroke and become unalive. Um, why now? So, the last angina attack was about 6 weeks ago. Excuse me, but what provoked me to call and make an appointment was that um, I had like 3 or 4 of those attacks in a week, and they were lasting longer, and I was getting nervous. And of course, as soon as I had the appointment for the doctor, I haven't had any more angina attacks. So Like going to the dentist for your toothache, and then as soon as you get there, your tooth stops hurting. Um, in any case, being on Zepbound, being in perimenopause, um, having weight loss, eating very differently, probably not a bad idea to get checked. So, I met with the doctor today. Now I'm scheduled for a workup, which I don't mind except for the pet stress. Not a fan. Um, I've done the exercise ones before, but I don't think I'm in that kind of shape. And since been off of all steroids and breathing medications for not quite a year yet, and not free and clear entirely of having to use a rescue inhaler. I've only had to use it 3 times, but still I had to use it, and I have history of very severe pulmonary disease. Um, being off all the steroids and breathing on my own and really feeling so much better since starting the Zepbound, and of course losing the weight, I'm sure plays a huge role. Um, I am hesitant to do the exercise because I'm just not in that shape. I have not held on to my goal of consistency for the year. And it's okay, babe. You can still come in. Just don't use any bad words. Um, I I just my consistency has been inconsistent. That's what I'm consistent in, is being inconsistent. And there was something else I'm consistent with, but now I can't remember. Um, but in any case, it hasn't been exercise. I wanted to be consistent with exercise. I wanted to be consistent with eating. I've gotten much better, much longer periods of time with eating, and not with eating well, with staying on my own plan, and not messing up. But um, the exercise, the walking, and I need to. Really, really need to. But I'm definitely not feeling like I can run on a treadmill right now for a stress test without actually having a heart attack during the test. And my first stress test that I ever took was running, and I lost quite a bit of weight many years ago, and thought I was in pretty good shape. And I ran and I did what they needed me to do, but the nurses got nervous and they um, stopped the test short. And it took me a good 15 to 20 minutes to catch my breath. And they were on standby. I was literally surrounded by like 4 nurses and a doctor. Or it might have been 3 nurses and 2 doctors. Um, so I'm doing the chemical one, which I just despise. I've only had one of those and it scared the heck out of me. And so I'm not looking forward to doing it again. But it's less invasive than what you'd want to do, which would be like an angiogram or something. So I have that to look forward to. I had 4 doctor's appointments today. Yes, you heard that right. My entire day has been doctor's appointments. And the cardiovascular one, you know, was an important one, but I don't really have any information. So, other than I'm doing what I have to do to get checked out, and that's all I can do right now. And hopefully, I don't have any more angina attacks. I was on heart medication for many years and I stopped taking it, and that was specifically for angina. And the reason I had stopped taking it was because it was such a high copay that I didn't want to pay it, which is ironic because in comparison to the cost of Zepbound, it was really cheap. But apparently I'm really cheap and goes to show where my priorities go. I'll risk having a heart attack or stroke, but I must lose the weight. So I'm laughing, I'm making a joke. I know it's not funny. Okay. But it is what it is. And so now I'm probably going to end back up on heart medication, but what I'm hoping is that I'll just end up on a baby aspirin at night and not have to go back on any quote unquote heart medication specifically. Because I just don't want to pay for it. It's as simple as that. We're not rich. We do fine. We're we're relatively comfortable. Bills are paid, but it hurts to take that big chunk out for the Zepbound. And so to add things like mental health therapy or counseling, a dietitian, heart medication. Again, I'm sorry, I know some of you are gonna think that's not freaking funny. I know, but you gotta make light out of the dark and it's so silly. Um, but listen, all these years I've survived after stopping to take the medication. So maybe it's just a matter of I need a little extra support now that I'm on this weight loss journey. Maybe that's what I need to do. So, um, hopefully the only medication that I'll be put on is baby aspirin, which um I actually was taking on my own every night, but I stopped because I'm a terrible medication taker, except of course for my Zepbound. Oh, and my Lexapro, um, which is an antidepressant. I have resented having to be on any mental health medication and went many, many years without any mental health medication. And a few years ago, I restarted with the mental health medication. And now in my mid 50s, I actually look forward to my mental health medication just to get through the day and deal with people. So, the first thing I do when I get out of bed, besides pee, because I'm 54 now and that just, I have to. Um, the next first thing I do right after getting up is run for my medication or I can't get through the day. So that's the story, folks, but that's my day. That's how I'm doing. And it was a very busy day and I'm very, very tired. And so I've made quite a few videos today and I'm trying to get them all out so I don't have to make another one for a while. And also, in all honesty, which that is actually honest, the other reason is, I don't like to make videos just for the sake of making videos. I was trying to do a thing. I was trying to keep up with the Joneses and, you know, get more subscribers and get more watch hours and keep up with everybody that's hustling and, getting monetized. And I'm thinking, that's not what I set out to do. Um, I set out to keep a journal so that I can see where I started and how I got to where I'm going, if that makes sense. And, this is my diary that I'm sharing with everybody. Um, Not that there's that many people that are subscribed or watching, but for the few of you that are, in my exclusive little fan club, which I- I'm laughing and smiling, but it's only with love. I'm not laughing at you. I am so grateful for anybody who sits and listens. More importantly to me, I'm so grateful for anybody who comments, not because of the algorithm, but because of your support and your encouragement and your understanding and having sharing common ground, the connection. That's what I look forward to, and that's why I continue to make these videos. Um, but I don't like to make videos if I really don't have anything new to say. Like how many times, and I don't mean this disrespectfully to anybody, because I watch the lives, I participate in the lives. I may not sit through an entire video, but I do watch videos. Um, but like how many times, how much can I say about a GLP-1 or weight loss or my husband's health declining or, my health doing this or that or how, it's like it's bad when the content creator is bored of their own stuff. So, just to get on and talk just for the sake of talking, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not keeping up with the Joneses. I'm not trying to keep up with the Joneses. I'm I'm probably never going to get monetized. And I never set out for this to become monetized. This is not for a career. It's not for a second job. This was initially out of my own self care and selfishness. Um, to 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 watch my diary because I'm not going to sit and write or type in a journal. This is my journal. And I also, like I've said in the past, never really found anybody that I related to in the same way that were going through some of the same things that I was going through. So I'm hoping that maybe, if somebody else is struggling and they have some family stuff going on that they're dealing with, addiction, illness, weight loss, new medication, autoimmune disease, animals, whatever. Maybe my struggles will make somebody else feel less alone because that's ultimately always been the goal. So, I don't know why I started to see this as I have to do what other people are doing because I don't, and I don't have the energy. I'm not committed to doing that. I'm not consistent with most things, so I don't know why I would expect to be consistent with that. And you know, I'm not I'm not I'm not good at lives. I'm not good at, interviews as far as asking questions. And I'm not good at teaching and you know, I'm great at doing research, but I'm not good at spitting that information back out. I'm not good at articulating my thoughts, which is why these videos sometimes are just ugh. So, that's why my videos are going to be sporadic. Today I had a lot to talk about. I didn't want to make excessively long videos because nobody's going to watch it anyway. So I thought if I break my day up into several smaller videos, maybe it'll get a little more attention in that I'll get a little more feedback, a little more commenting. Maybe somebody will find something more helpful because they'll actually take the time to watch it. It's not for my ego, I promise. It's just it's for me and then hopefully maybe it will resonate with someone else. Maybe it'll be helpful in some way. So thank you for being a part of my journey. I have one more video to make that will pro probably be a long one, the longest one, um, unless I actually manage to figure out how to break it into two smaller videos, which maybe I will do. So with that, I will leave and in this video and wish you a wonderful rest of the week. And I thank you, as always, for being part of my journey and hope you're well. Bye.